Thanksgiving Day to everyone. Thank you for being with us. And today, this is the second half of Mind Shifters Radio. Today's Thursday, November the 25th, 2021. Their calling number is 563-999-3581 and press 1, and that puts you into queue to talk to us. And we'd love to hear your comments and questions because that makes this your show. And if you are on the phone, and if nothing else, press 1 and tell us what you are thankful for. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you, dear heart. I am thankful for the opportunity to have put my mind around this work and then spent the last 40 years teaching it so that I could take it even deeper and deeper into my being and be part of spreading it to every mind, heart, and being on the planet. I appreciate the fact that we have this sweet, awesome family here. And in different parts of the country, wish we were closer together. The opportunity to have a human life is pretty awesome. So that's kind of what's going on in my mind. And of course, sweetheart, I deeply, deeply, deeply cherish and appreciate you. And I'm blessed that you're in my life.
Ditto, back at you. I'm thankful for you.
So welcome, and gratitude, one of the most researched psychological topics on the planet, and one of the most profoundly impactful for living life in a state of joy and aliveness. So Gratitude Day, good idea to have one every day. That's why it's a good idea to have a gratitude journal. It's fun to watch Aria's eyes light up when we say, let's do the gratitude journal. Yeah. And it's become a regular part of her conversation to talk about what she's grateful for at 3. How cool. And, of course, we're looking at closing out a year, so our timing is just about right with the book, Why Is This Happening to Me Again? We've been doing a couple of paragraphs from page 1 on, and we're now up to page 151. So we've got about a month to finish out the conversation about forgiveness. And feeling blessed by the opportunity to read what I wrote 2.5 decades ago, and sometimes surprised at what I knew back then. When I think about it, it's like, gee, did I understand that way back then? I don't remember understanding it, but there it is in writing, so I guess I must have. Or must have been guided to write it, and here I get to learn it again on a new level. So the foundation of this work is the first century Aramaic language. And, our last chapter was What is Learning? And we looked at the idea of building brain cells. And the source of this work and the profound principles within it are the first century Aramaic language. And if the man Yeshua, who spoke, thought, and taught in Aramaic, sat in most circles that purport to teach what he taught, he would definitely say that's all Greek to me, because there is little of his actual work that made it through, that wasn't lost in translation and made it through to the English language. And we're looking to reestablish in people's brain cells what the Aramaic solution looks like, how it works. And so our next chapter is chapter 23, the Aramaic solution. I expressed to Richard that, Richard, I feel like the reality management worksheet is one of the best tools we've developed for cleaning out conflicting realities. It shows how to forgive step by step. Once you learn it, if you use it regularly, life will never be the same. Now, of course, when we're using the word forgive here, once again, and I repeat this and repeat this and repeat this because I've watched people who've studied this work for 20 years, and they still default. The mind still goes back to the old brain cells of, I forgave them, or I forgave myself. Our directive would be clear on this topic. Never forgive anybody for anything, and never attempt to forgive yourself for anything. And people sometimes get quite confused at that idea. That brings confusion up for them. It's like, what do you mean, Michael? I thought your work was about forgiveness. Absolutely. 200,000% it's about forgiveness. But if you're languaging how you forgave them or you forgave yourself, you're not doing forgiveness work. You're doing Greek pardoning work. You can say to me, and if you do, I'll know you've done no forgiveness work to date. I've already forgiven my mother, my father, my sister, my brother, my kids, my parents, my grandparents, my neighbors, my boss, my spouse, my former spouse. I've even forgiven my future spouses. If you say something like that to me, here's what I know. Absolutely, totally, and completely. You've done no forgiveness work. Because the word them and forgive never belong in the same sentence. So once you understand forgiveness and you engage in forgiveness work, you engage in collapsing false perceptual constructs in your mind, perceptions based in hostility, fear, and pain, accessing the root of that hidden part of your mind, which was called the unconscious. In the ancient teachings, it was called the heart, and removing that hidden material. That's forgiveness. So to say forgive them it just makes no sense. To say I forgive myself makes no sense. Now, let's call the act of letting someone else off the hook or yourself off the hook for what you've done what it is. It's a valid tool. It's called pardoning. If I look at you and the situation and my perception's pained, and you did something really raunchy, it can be very appropriate for me. So, okay, I saw what you did, and I'm willing to let go of that. I let you off the hook. I absolve you of all responsibility in this. Or I absolve myself. Call that what it is. It's pardoning. Call it forgiveness. And you'll never do forgiveness work because you think forgiveness is something that it isn't. And so we need to be really clear about the definition of the word. Forgiveness is a tool with which you reach inside your own hidden mind by collapsing false perceptual constructs, accessing and exposing the root of the corrupt data that reflects its false perceptual constructs, and transmuting or removing that energy or the charge behind that energy. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about forgiveness. So when I say that to Richard, that's what I'm referring to. That this is the most important tool. Life will never be the same if you use it. Richard says, that sounds like a promise I can't refuse. I'm willing. Richard was enthused. Tell me more. We've gone through several layers. If you've been following the book for the last year, or if you've read it, or if you want to read it, you can download it free from our website. It's out of print, so we don't have it available, although you can buy it on Amazon used or on eBay. There are always lots of copies there. And Richard's gone through many ups and downs of, yeah, man, I want this is crazy. Let me out of here. And that's a normal response, which most everybody goes through as they start cleaning up their minds. The Aramaic word, quote, shabag, that's S-H-B-A-G, close quote, has been translated into the English word forgive. But it actually has a much deeper and richer meaning than our Western concept of forgiveness. The word itself translates as to cancel, to let loose, or to untie. As an Aramaic concept, the word shabag means a tool for changing a reality in your mind. In our culture, we say, forgive your brother, as though it is your brother that needs to be forgiven for your upset. An Aramaic mind that understood the original teachings on forgiveness would never say such a thing. And Richard asked the question, what would they say? And we'll get into that in tomorrow's show. But suffice to say that when we're working with this idea of forgiveness, just a brief sketch, and you can go to our homepage on our website, whyagain.org, and over on the right-hand side, at least I think on the new page, there's still the social media links are on the right-hand side, I think. If you click the YouTube button and type in the words PowerPoint, the word PowerPoint, one word, come up with a video that explains precisely what it took me 35 years to learn working full-time with the Aramaic, exactly what the word or the action of forgiveness is. So if you go to whyagain.org, go to the social media links, click YouTube, put in the search term PowerPoint. We're looking at getting that made into a whiteboard type drawing. Hopefully we'll add some tweaks to it. You've got a thought for us, Jeannie?
I was just going to say, yes, the social media links are still up there, but they can also get that PowerPoint by just clicking on the Start Here and scrolling down, and the PowerPoint is right there along with the other worksheets that we have.
Oh, cool. Well, that sounds easy. So that PowerPoint's about, I think it's 22 minutes, 23 minutes. Give it a listen. You might need to go through it 20 times to really build the brain cells for what it means. I know that when Bill Costantino said, Michael, I've got a lot of skills at doing PowerPoints, and this forgiveness process is really profound. I'm really getting it. And I would like to create a PowerPoint presentation that explains it. And then Bill and I spent about a year going back and forth as he created this PowerPoint presentation. Thank you, Bill. There's another big appreciation that goes out, because it precisely describes exactly what happens when you shabag a goal. Again, the word shabag means to cancel. You will notice that you are never upset with people. You're going for Thanksgiving, you're going to meet with family, and there's a slight opportunity that there might be some opportunities to learn forgiveness. And notice that everybody will tend to get together, unless there's somebody that's just generally totally miserable. They'll be happy and, how are you doing? And I hope everything's okay, unless you're carrying some old grudges or what have you. And everything will roll along until somebody does something that violates a goal that one of the other family members has. And then when that goal is violated, because that goal resonates some form of hostility or fear in the mind of the person holding the goal, and it doesn't matter who they're holding the goal for, it might be themselves, it might be someone else, or it could be, somebody in the family who's long gone. And the conversations are rolling along all wonderfully and everything's cool and everybody's having fun. And all of a sudden somebody brings up that person who's long gone, and this person who has not dealt with the issue around the goal they held for that person, all of a sudden it's back into an old stage of upset. Why? Because the goal activated resonates upset. The reason why we counsel people and why we teach forgiveness is the canceling of a goal. Shebag means to cancel, is because the goal is a resonant frequency, a resonating frequency that causes certain brain cells to fire. And if you load a goal into your mind that causes hostility or fear to move in you, then you have a problem. And once you load that goal, the functioning purpose of the mind is to show you how to fulfill your goals. So once you load a goal into your mind, and that goal, if it ties into a part of your mind that holds hostility or fear, and you fail at achieving that goal, or it's a goal for someone else and they fail at achieving it, then your mind will tend to utilize its dissociated hostility and fear to build the perceptual construct about whoever it is that didn't fulfill the goal. Forcing them to fulfill the goal will never resolve the hostility or fear of the perceiver, however. If they can force them into behavior, the goal's frustrated, the person doesn't fulfill the goal, they go into a rage, the person goes, oh, okay, I'll do it. And they do it. It does nothing to resolve the rage, the fear, the guilt, whatever it is in the person who's got the perceptual construct driven by that goal. So what happens when you cancel or shebag a goal is the data that is resonated by that goal, if it's based in hostility or fear, becomes the root of the output of your mind and is a reflection of your dis-ease energies. Canceling the goal collapses the perception. When that perception collapses, it collapses in on itself. In effect, it opens what was called the veil of the temple. You remember they said the veil of the temple must be rent in twain. They were not talking about a purple curtain in a church. The veil of the temple is the barrier between the subconscious and the unconscious mind. The temple is your structure, your carbon-based memory system. So when you cancel a goal, that perception collapses, and it collapses in on itself, bypassing the veil, bypassing the block that causes dissociation and allowing you to contact directly what the aberrant energy is that needs healing. And when you bring that energy up in the presence of love, there's a transmutation, and that's where the healing takes place. That's where the forgiveness actually happens. It took me 35 years to understand that. I taught for decades canceling goals because it worked. I didn't know why it worked. I didn't know how it worked, but for decades I taught it. So that's what the PowerPoint will explain if you want to get into it a little deeper and a little more technically. And then the worksheet process, you'll notice before you cancel the goal, one of the things you do is you focus in and you tap into, you cultivate your relationship with the presence of love in you. You strengthen the presence of love. And when love is present and something that is less than love moves within, then that which is less than love begins its dissolution process. We're liberated from our own unconscious traumas. How can you tell if what you're feeling is your unconscious trauma when your mind shows you that it's all their fault? We've got a way you can tell whether or not what you're feeling is yours or theirs. Now, it's a tough one, but here's the bottom line of it. How do you tell whether or not something you're feeling is yours or not? You're feeling it. Oh, yeah, but Michael, look at, I can prove what they did. I don't care what they did. I don't care what they said. I don't care what goals they fulfilled or what goals they didn't fulfill. You're in pain and trauma. because there's pain and trauma in you, or you wouldn't be able to feel it. Got to stop lying to ourselves. And if you're feeling it because it's there. And if you step into abuse mode, physical, mental, emotional, verbal abuse, then you're strengthening your own disease process while pretending that the problem is somebody else. I'm only feeling this way because of what you didn't do, because you didn't fulfill the goal I have for you. No, you're only feeling this way because that disease energy is in you. And the goal you loaded in your mind for them to do what you wanted them to do needs to be actively canceled in order to access the hidden part of your own mind, in order to move away from the lies of the perceptual mind into the truth. So we invite you to download that video or that PowerPoint presentation. If you know anybody that does whiteboard presentations, we would love some support with that if you feel like pitching in and helping with that. And then, of course, you can go to the App Store in your phone. And when you get to the App Store, type in the words Heartland, Heartland, one word, Aramaic, Aramaic, forgiveness. You will be looking at the world's only forgiveness app, an app which is about to get another upgrade. Thank you, Jeannie, for the hours you're putting into this again. So from the app, when Jeannie finishes this newest upgrade, you're going to be able to access all kinds of things right from the app. You're going to be able to ask questions right from the app, and we'll answer those questions on the radio show and write back to you and let you know when that answer was given. So there's a whole new plan for upgrading. It will still have the Dragon Klingon game for kids. It'll have the 2 different versions of the worksheet. It will have the commitment, and then we're heading to the next level of upgrade. So watch for that coming. If you don't have the app yet, download it, put it on your phone. If you do have it, watch and do the update when it comes out. And I don't know, Jeannie, they're thinking it might be another 2 weeks or so before they complete, and it's live on the newest version is live.
Say it again. I was
just asking. I was thinking that I'd heard the technicians say that it was probably going to be about 2 weeks before they complete, and it'll be live.
Correct.
With the new upgrade, yeah. So.
I actually spent about an hour and a half with him this morning making some changes, so they're working on it even today.
Cool. Well, it's going to be a Christmas present then.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The skills you have in the arena of computers, sweetie, and I mean, designing and building this whole app is just awesome. So that's something else I appreciate. And if you're out there, well, Jeannie, you had something to share. Why don't I turn the phone over to you and you go for it with that gratitude story you've got?
I read this every year. I update it a little bit for changes that have happened for the new year, and I titled it, I Am Thankful For. This has been a year for change and challenge, especially since the pandemic last year. So first I want to say that I'm thankful to be able to be here in Bristol to take care of Dad and to share in the care of our granddaughter, Aria. Thankful that we have enough of everything that we need, and thankful that we have been protected and taken care of and supported when things seem dark. Thankful to feel the presence of love and to know that it's all okay, that we can walk on water through the midst of this storm. The following I read every year with a few edits for the changes that have taken place. Even though I often want other things that I don't have, I am most grateful for what I have that I sometimes take for granted. I want to focus on the fact that I am thankful for Yahweh, God, and the love that He gave the world, and for Yeshua, Jesus, the Christ, for showing the way. I am able to freely worship in spirit and truth and honor my Creator. Thank you, God. And by the way, He is both my Savior and Lord, and there is a big difference in those two. I was blessed with phenomenal parents who gave me life. Mom went on to heaven September 25th, 2017. So now I say that I am thankful that I had her for as long as I did. I wished it had been longer, but she was ready to go. My dad is having increasing challenges with Parkinson's and dementia and cannot live alone, and I'm thankful that we are able to be here for him as he was for me during my life growing up. I am thankful that he still remembers some things, especially who we are, and that we can help him through the challenges he faces. I have a son who is beyond words. He's the pride and joy of my life. He's the answer to my prayers and is the very presence of God made manifest. I'm thankful I was able to give birth and then to have been able to watch him grow into such a fine young man. I have a lovely daughter-in-love who loves me back and supports and loves my son. Together, they have been wonderful friends, partners, and parents. And now we've been blessed with the most precious granddaughter, Aria Rain Shaw. From the moment that I laid eyes on her, which was just minutes on this planet, I felt my being expand. I am thankful she's so perfect and healthy, and it's an added bonus that she's beautiful and sweet. We are blessed to keep her 2 to 3 days a week and be part of her growing, learning, and experiencing the love that she is, and her reflecting that back to us as well. I have a partner, Michael, who shares life with me. We've traveled together, done workshops and intensives together, played together. He's presently supporting me so lovingly, even to the point of rearranging his work life to be here, supporting me.
Breathing with you, sweetie.
Me and my dad.
Kiddo.
And Aria. And I'm thankful for that, Michael.
Just take a second and let's just breathe together, sweetie. I'll do my Darth Vader breath.
That's what you sound like. So our romantic relationship is fulfilling, and he often takes my breath away, only to give it back and remind me to breathe. He has 2 great children and 2 beautiful granddaughters who I have the privilege of sharing a portion of their lives. His family has embraced me. I wish we were closer geographically so we could spend more time with them. I have 2 other amazing stepsons that have been part of my life for 44 years, and they call me Mom, even though I never asked them to. That is pure acceptance. Their mother has also embraced me as well, and we are good friends. I have 2 beautiful step-grandchildren through them. Well, and I wish we were closer geographically to spend more time. I was blessed with 3 fabulous brothers who call me sis. They have awesome wives and kids, some of who also have kids. God has truly blessed this entire family. My eldest brother, only 14 months older than me, passed away last July, giving us all a wake-up call of how precious time is here. He now dances with Mom and others who have gone on. I have friends and loved ones who I know that I can call on any time, and while we may not see each other that often, we remain close. I'm thankful for that caring. I have a lot of people in my life that I consider friends, but more than the number of friends, I have a great number of them who are close enough to hear my heart and hold me in love even when I'm in my stuff. They hear even when there are no words. They see me. I'm thankful for my health, which is good, and a body that serves me well more times than not. I'm thankful this is between Michael and I'm thankful I'm not too difficult to look at. I may not be wealthy, but I can pay my bills and live comfortably, although simply, and many people can't say that. While I attempt to be perfect, yeah, right, I do make mistakes.
Let me drop in there. Let me drop in there before you go for perfection, honey.
Go
and
for it.
just share that when Jeannie and I met online through eHarmony.com, and when you join eHarmony, you have an option of either making your picture available or not. So we did not see each other's pictures until we had communicated for, I don't even remember how long, some period of time. So she did give me a description of herself as being not too hard to look at. So that's where that little joke comes in, and I often say that to her. And I'm glad that she's not too hard to look at. So
I'm thankful for the gentle lessons given to me instead of a 2x4. The trials and challenges that give me the opportunity to forgive once more. I'm thankful for my degree in psychology that I was able to finish college a few years ago. Thankful for what I learned as well as what I was able to share with my professors and fellow students. I'm thankful for the potential that is now mine. I'm thankful for good air our air here hadn't been too good lately, but thankful for air and sunshine, for rain and snow, clean water to drink, and wholesome food to eat. I'm thankful for the garden. I'm thankful for a bed to sleep in and a roof over my head. I'm thankful for the ability to laugh and to feel safe and secure, and I'm thankful that I survived and learned from times that were not so safe and secure. I'm thankful for the vehicles we have. None of them are new, but they serve the purpose well. I'm thankful for time to see and do all that we see and do. Time to share, time to love, time to be. I'm glad I have a cell phone and computer. Even though electronics present challenges, I'm able to stay connected with those who I'm away from more than I could without that technology. I'm thankful we've been able to use that technology to do workshops and intensives virtually when things shut down due to COVID. We had to stop the travel and close up Heartland, and yet we go forward. I'm thankful for experiencing love within myself and from family and friends. It's the source that we move through on this planet and what sustains us. Sustains us in times of challenge. The technology we have today allows us to see all over this great planet and experience things that once were not even imagined. This includes television, internet, radio, telephones, computers, the technology of cars, planes, trains. The opportunities we have today are immense, and I'm thankful for them. I'm glad to know how to read and write. These two skills have helped me move through my life more easily and have afforded me employment that otherwise I could not have gotten. I appreciate people I meet. Once strangers become new friends and support. Cherished ones become dearer each time we meet. Simple things in life. I'm thankful for the crackle of a fire, a shooting star, the glow of the moon, the warmth of the sun, the smell of pine, the sound of laughter, the smile of a child, the beauty of the mountains and the valleys, rolled hay that's still sitting in the field, newborn calves gaining their footing, the sunset, sunrise, the rainbow that reminds us of God's promise. Thankful for sand on the ocean shore, the rolling waves and salty breeze. Thankful for the falling snow that covers the trees and grounds and makes all things beautiful and at peace. I'm thankful for family get-togethers, reunions, holidays, camping, or simply shopping and chatting. While we don't do many of those things due to COVID, we have stayed connected through FaceTime and calls and emails. Being able to express my thoughts and feelings freely, the liberty afforded to this country. I'm thankful that there are those, including my dad and brothers and a sister-in-law, who have been willing to take a stand for this country and the people in it. I wish for a time when people awaken to do something different other than war. I'm thankful for laughter and tears to express without words. And more than that, I have so many people who hear the unspoken that comes from my heart, and they genuinely care. I'm thankful I'm above ground one more day. Thankful for the morning and the night. I'm thankful for conveniences of running water. And these are tears of gratitude. I am just so thankful. Conveniences of running water and indoor toilets. Although I enjoyed being at my grandma and granddad's house when they did not have these luxuries, I'm glad I do. I am glad I can so easily obtain groceries and gas. We have electric heat instead of having to build fire. I'm glad we have fireplaces for pleasure, though. I love air conditioning in my home and my car. I love to simply flip a switch and the room is illuminated in light. I'm thankful for the experiences at Grandma and Granddad's to learn how to milk cows, gather eggs, put up salted meat, churn butter, haul hay, grade tobacco, make molasses, harvest, and plant. Many of these skills will never be used again by me, but I'm glad that I learned them. I am thankful for my mind and that I can think, remember, and figure and have discernment. I have both knowledge and wisdom. I'm thankful that I have all 5 senses. I can see, hear, feel, taste, and smell. I even have a 6th sense of intuition, which alerts me when I'm paying attention to it. I'm thankful to hear a loved one's voice and to see their sweet face, to taste country cooking and to feel the touch of a hand or lips on mine and to smell flowers in the spring. I'm thankful for travel and seeing so many parts of this planet, and I'm thankful for home. I'm glad we have theaters and plays and bowling, skiing, hiking, biking, swimming, music, and so many other ways to entertain ourselves. And I'm thankful for the silent times when I can meditate and just be. I'm thankful for my physician and dentist and pharmacy that they are willing to listen and do something other than the typical medication. They are really healers, and I'm thankful for that. I am thankful for modern means of surgery, etc., if and when it would be necessary. I'm glad I have clothes to wear and shoes on my feet, a coat, gloves, boots in the winter, shorts and sandals in the summer. I'm glad my clothes are also stylish as well as functional. I'm thankful for my abilities, for the jobs I've had and the experiences and the growth, for the money that I needed when I needed it, the ability to earn it instead of begging for a handout, the diversity in their world. I'm thankful, the cultures that give color to the universe. We are all cells within one body. I am thankful for those who have taught me along the way, my grandparents, my parents, teachers, preachers, spouses, siblings, children, grandchildren, friends, and acquaintances for their time and energy. I'm thankful I can dream. I'm thankful for the innocence of a child to remind me who I am. I am thankful.
And I join you in that gratitude, sweetheart. It's an awesome piece of writing. As I listen to you speak about it, one of the things that really comes to the forefront for me, and we actually talked about this a little yesterday, and quite often when we're watching a documentary on something around the globe or what have you, or yesterday it was the fact that we were out driving, and just that how many billions of man, woman, genius hours go into the fact that we can most of us walk out in our driveway with a little thing called a key in our hand, and we can open a door, put a key in the ignition, and drive a mile or 1,000 miles. I mean, when you think about what it takes to do that, rubber and gasoline and all the technology and the manufacturing, the electronics, the electrical, the I mean, just how many billions of hours went into each one of us to just be able to sit there and do that. Or, I think about when we watch a documentary and some filmmaker has sat in some remote area of the world, perhaps for months with your camera to get a 45-second shot of something that probably no other human has ever seen. And we get to do it sitting in our living room day after day after day after day. We have that kind of blessing available to us. It's like, where do people find the time to be in upset and conflict and want to struggle and fight with somebody else? There's so much to be thankful for. So thank you for that reminder, Liz Cheney. I am truly grateful for you in my world.
Thank you.
So if you're out there in listener land and you've got something you'd like to add to the list, if you push 1, we would love to hear your voice and hear what gratitude's going on for you today. If you're on one of those stations where we can't see you, our call-in number is 563-999-3581. If you call that number, you'll be listening to the show. And then if you push 1, that'll raise a hand in the phone queue. And Jeannie will introduce you by your area code. So do we have anybody out there with a hand up in the phone queue, sweetie, or anything happening in the chat room?
It is all quiet. There are no hands up, no comments in the chat. We have 20 minutes. We've got plenty of time.
Lots of time for conversation. And it's go ahead, sweetie.
I was just going to say, and thank you for helping me this morning. We got the homemade gravy and cranberry sauce and all of that stuff made up and ready to, we'll be going to
sprouts. Turkey.
Yeah, we're going to
non-turkey turkey.
Non-turkey turkey. Yeah. So thank you for helping me get all that together this morning.
Delighted. Oh, that brings up another gratitude for me, because before I got in the kitchen and doing that stuff, I got to go out and feed our worms from our compost, and so I'm really thankful for the ability to garden and just the awesome wealth that comes out of this little hole in the ground. We put a seed in the ground and tend it. And you think about that. Here's wealth, just boom, just pops up out of the ground. And so I'm certainly most grateful for all the farmers who have gone before me, and for YouTube University, being able to jump on YouTube when I have a question about what are we going to do to build this soil? How are we going to set this up? How are we going to build this greenhouse? Well, how do we do this? How do we do that? Just, so thank you too. And I've certainly had a deepened appreciation for the work that farmers do. When I think about the little small gardens that we've got and how much work it is, and then I think about farmers and the way they slug and work, and geez, it's just amazing. And I certainly am one who strongly puts forward a voice that we need to support American farmers. We need to be talking to the people who supply us with our groceries, who think of it just as a business, and they look at the profit and the bottom line, and they'll buy toxic food from some other country because they make an extra buck off of it. And I for one like to go and speak to the grocery manager, and I've had grocery managers who basically have said, well, I don't know anything about food. This is just a business. We buy and sell things. So, well, it's time to get off your duff and learn something about food and bring us food that's actually has health-giving properties in it, not chemicals, and to support the farmers in this country who need support, especially with the way that, the whole tariff thing happened and how it's knocked so many farmers down this last few years. It's time for us to be lifting farmers up and to be restoring the soil of the earth to health. The way that it's been treated by commercial farming is we're within, according to some people, maybe as little as 20 years of soil left on the planet, the way that it's being chemically altered and killed. Soil is a living organism. It's not dirt, it's soil. It's a living organism. Been learning that very deeply as we've been growing our food here, and learning how to nurture the life that is in the soil rather than soak it down with gallons and gallons and gallons of glyphosate and kill everything and start to grow from there and be hooked into chemical farming. So much appreciation for those who've gone before us in the farming world and the farming community, and who are teaching us. Actually, some of you who've given us input and advice over the years, just at Heartland, and some of the questions I've been able to ask of Chuck and Magda about their farming experience have been really deeply appreciated. And some of you know Carrie Lee from the radio show and from workshops, and Carrie actually is at this moment writing for the state of Illinois some model legislation for how to care for the soil, how to really empower living soil and restore it. So it's pretty cool to watch those things happen, to have an opportunity to put an ear to the ground and listen to those things. It's pretty awesome. And so, Miss Jeannie, now we're at the dialogue part, and if there's no dialogue to happen, and we've still got lots to do to prepare to head for Thanksgiving dinner, maybe we just say to everybody, have a wondrous and awesome Thanksgiving, and may this new year coming up be the best one yet of your eternal life. And thanks for joining us, and blessings.